situations like this?
First of all, I cannot speculate as to whether it was done right or wrong. We need to get the facts in. But I know very well, and I'm a truthful Nigerian. I know very well that many of this time, this is about the big man mentality. This is about the I'm bigger than you mentality. How can you do this? Is my Oga? How can you do that to my Oga and all that? But
the chances are high that the men will be acting with the consent of their current bosses, isn't that right?
The chance is there. There's also the chance that some overzealous cooperatives can act thinking that they're impressing their bosses. I'd want to get, and I want to call on the president to get to the root of it, because it's one too many, as a matter of fact, right? You recall that the DSS gave, was it 2 different reports?
On the EFCC chair?
Absolutely, right? Now, some of us are asking, who is who working for? We need that harmony, because if a house is divided amongst itself, it's going to have issues. So we need that harmony amongst these agencies. We need to have these people, first of all, getting the act together. The guys who are working on the government side, getting the act together, security agencies, and then we need to also go to the issue of the case of prosecutors. How good are the cases packaged? Because I think that one of the problems we have is that when you present a good case badly, you give the loopholes for people to escape from. And it also goes down to, because you asked me what I think needs to be done. Now, I'm coming from the government now, and I'm going to, again, we're coming now from, now we also need to look at the cooperation between the executive and the judiciary and the legislature. Are we on the same page? Does the legislature understand that we have a serious issue on our hands? Do they understand that they need to keep their ego aside and look at what needs to be done? You don't need to like the president's first for you to do the right thing. We talk about anti-corruption laws that are there in the National Assembly. Now, I encourage them to expedite action on those bills and get it out there to give the president tools to work. And then we're talking about tools again. People say we have a lot of laws. Problem is implementation, and that is where you see that we need the executive working well with the judiciary, with the legislature, and then the judiciary. And then we come down to the lawyers themselves. I have a lot of good friends who are lawyers, but sometimes I also tell them the truth. You guys are not helping sometimes, because it is the same lawyer who is working on the government side. It's not on the government side. A lawyer is also working on the side of the accused. The lawyer is also working on the side of and all that. So at what point are we going to come to that point where we keep the legal gymnastics aside and try to look at what is right and what is wrong? I'm not saying if you have a legal loophole you can take it, but at some point too we need to think a bit about where do we want to go. So now all these things have to come together, because if EFCC does all the investigation only to get to the court and somebody for one technicality just go scot-free, who is losing? And that's why I also like some of this aspect of plea bargaining, some aspect of recovery, because the average Nigerian wants his money back. It comes to a point where some of us are not even saying, okay, even if he will not be jailed now, let's collect our money. At least some of it. It may look rudimentary, it might look primitive, but at the end of the day, we just need to move forward a little. The people need to get some kind of succor. You look at our infrastructure, you look at the roads, look at the hospitals, look at the schools. Where's all the money gone? Some guys have all the money in their pockets. And then you go to court and a case stays in court for 10 years. Look what happened with Chief Ibori. It took the UK to bail us, one way or the other. And look at what is playing out too with Dizani. She's not been convicted, so she's innocent until proven guilty. But the facts are also there. Now, and somehow we are saying, let her stay in the UK, let them try her there. Is that not shameful to us? Why are some Nigerians saying that? Because maybe if she comes down here now, big man talk to big man, and we'll just be, we'll left with our tails up.
I'm just wondering, you are a medical practitioner. You're also very involved in the process. You set up an NGO and you're running that NGO. How many, it goes to show the enthusiasm you have about Nigeria, and also your optimism that the country can be better.
Absolutely.
Amongst your colleagues, would you say that, you you people are very few that share that optimism in the future of Nigeria.
No, we're many. We're many. And interested.
Are you?
Yes, absolutely.
Because a number of people might say that, you know, for when you talk to a cross-section of Nigerians, and with the number of people we see leaving the country, we're talking about brain drain most of the time, you know, it would seem that faith in the country is waning.
I respect those who choose to leave the country. But I also think that more patriotic and more heroic are those who elect to stay in the country. And there are many doctors who are here who are doing this stuff and who are fighting for the country to be better. So I have confidence, and many of my colleagues have confidence. They're getting involved. They go to social media. You see a lot of doctors, you know, active on social media. Between patients, they are tweeting and they are Facebooking. I mean, I have a lot of friends, my professional colleagues, you know, we do a lot of interaction. I'm not going to call their names on air, but we interact. So, but you see, there's this notion that Nigerians have lost faith in Nigeria. But that's not true. Majority of Nigerians still have faith in the nation. And I say that because I'm involved and I'm engaged. And why am I engaged? We all sit back in our offices and boardrooms and all that. And many of us just lament and complain. But sometimes when you get involved, you bring in some competencies that you have earned, you have learned from doing your private businesses or your professional job, and bring it to bear, and it does help to move the process forward.
I have to thank you most kindly for coming on Sunrise Daily. Dr. Uche Diala is a National Coordinator, Foundation Against Fraud, Indiscipline and Corruption. Sunrise Daily continues in a moment. Please stay with us.